Hey guys, so it is evening, like pretty late, almost 8 o'clock at night on the 1st of January, and I have not had a chance to reset my board and do my plan because my family has been in town and it has just been wild and crazy, and I'm feeling like if I don't get my plan set before the quarter begins, I always feel a little bit panicked. So I'm trying my best to just say, okay, I enjoyed a little bit of time off and now let's get it reset. But as you can see, I did not clear everything. So let me show you before I reset everything, kind of how the quarter went. So I apologize for the lighting because it's difficult to get a good lighting in here when it's dark outside, but you can see that I did clear a lot of the board, or at least I got a lot of stuff done. I can say that even though I started the quarter with a 1-month-old baby, that I actually got a lot of work done, so I'm really proud of that. But where it suffered, once again, this is the story for the entire year of 2019, is my writing. So I didn't finish a single book this past year, and I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I know that my fans are disappointed, and it's just the way it is. And sometimes we just have to say, you know, I'm going to do my best and just keep moving forward. I did get some words done. I also got a lot of like new covers and things that are happening for, you know, some rebranding and other things that are happening in the next quarter. So I haven't really seen the results of some of that stuff, but I have been working hard on it, and I did get some words done. But I wanted to finish this warm-up story, which is meaning like I haven't been in contact with my newsletter list as much as I want to. So I wanted to finish a story that I'm going to send them for free, and it didn't get completely edited. But I still have a lot of words left on Fate Surrender, plus all of the edits didn't get done. Then I have all of this stuff was stuff my husband is helping with, and it just didn't get finished because I didn't give him all the information that he needed. And then the promo plan is something that I need to continue on in Q1. And then the box set cover from Raven she's my cover artist, and I don't have control over that one. So she just hadn't had time to get that finished. So overall, goal number 1, which is to publish and promote both new and backlist titles in order to increase my income from writing, went well, but I did not increase my income. In fact, my income has gone down overall for my writing because I didn't get a book out this year. Totally understandable, but I need to turn that around, hopefully with a little bit more momentum in 2020. So the second goal usually has to do with, you know, putting out social media and different types of content to build community with my fans. And I didn't, as you can see, have as much going on in this one. It was kind of a lighter goal this quarter, and I did not get a chance to send out like the warm-up story or to like cull my list, which is kind of pulling people off the list that just are not really interested or opening my stuff anymore. I also got a few nano vlogs posted, but I didn't get a 4th and 5th one, so that just would never happen. And then I didn't change all of my newsletter links, and I didn't get a chance to really like interview or hire a new assistant, which is something I really want to do in Q1. But I did get a lot of other stuff done, and that is a win. So I did increase my social media following and my engagement, so I hit my goal for that one. So my third goal is usually to continue to create quality content on heart breathings in order to increase my YouTube subscribers. And so that was a huge success. Like, I can't even tell you like how many sticky notes are in here. And the main project that really didn't get done, this is something that still, obviously I didn't get it done in time, but I want to do weekly sprint times in my sprinting group. So I need to do that. But the main project that did not get finished for this quarter was just my social media planner. And if you watched one of my latest videos, I talked about that I just ended up not having time because I got sick. And this is why I tell you guys to build in buffer days, and I just didn't build in enough with the baby. I also had wanted to finish a course that I was taking, and that's not a priority item. I had already identified before the quarter began that would be something that I could just not get done. I also had wanted to get one final video up for this quarter, and I did not get my 6th video up. But you can see I got a ton of stuff done for this quarter. So that is definitely something to be proud of. But now it is time to totally reset this board. So first, what I'm going to do actually is I am going to pull all these sticky notes off, and then I'm going to try to figure out another plan for how to make this board less shiny. Because I'm using a poster frame and this is plastic, the sticky notes stick to it really well, but when I take images or I try to take a video of it, I've got a glare, and I just don't like that. And this whole section is changing. Excuse the messiness of my office, but I'm going to be taking this white desk out of here. And this desk, which right now is a little bit of a mess, is something that matches the rest of this crafting furniture, but it's really a crafting desk. It's not meant to be like a computer desk. So even if I sit in this chair, or even if I got like one of my ergonomic chairs that's upstairs, this desk is just not designed to be a computer desk. So it doesn't ergonomically, like I can't sit the way that I need to sit, because if I get my chair high enough, then my knees hit the drawers. So it's just not designed well. And I'm going to start doing a lot of my writing in here in the mornings. So I just ordered an adjustable height desk. So it'll be one of those that you can hit a button and the desk will rise up so you can use it as a standing desk, which I'm hoping that setup, which I can't wait to show you guys when it gets in here. I'll do like an office tour for you. I'm hoping that's really going to help, because not only can I wear Evie and be writing while I'm like soothing her and holding her, but I'm also going to be able to write in this room instead of writing in rooms like I'm usually on the couch on my laptop, and I'm going to be able to do all my work in here. So this desk is actually going to go here, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this white desk, and we're gonna work it out. But I also want to do something with this glare, reset this board, and I haven't finished my plan, so I'm not even going to be able to reset the board, but I am going to go ahead and take these sticky notes down and then move on. So just something that's really cool. Oh my gosh, baby just woke up. She has not been sleeping more than about 10 or 15 minutes at a stretch, and I am losing my mind just a little bit, but George is going to get her while I finish this up. But I had one of my students suggested, why don't we just keep all of our Post-it notes that we finish throughout the entire year? So here is a stack of everything I got done this year, which is pretty cool. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of accomplishments, many videos, like somewhere close to 200 videos total. A lot of them are in my courses, but also a lot of them are up on this channel for you guys to watch for free. A lot of planner stuff. Just disappointed a little bit that it's not as many actual words in my books, but life goes on. I'm going to let it go and move on, come to terms with it and accept it. Now, I wanted to say that when I reset my plan, I don't just automatically say, okay, all of this stuff is going to go, the things I didn't finish are just going to go right back up on the board. I always like to evaluate what worked, what didn't work, and how I want to move forward, because some of this stuff may not be stuff that I decide is worth my time in Q1, because if it didn't get done, maybe it's not going to get done in Q1 either, and I need to push it back or push it out or just let go of it. For example, the NaNoWriMo vlogs that I wanted to do, that's just going to go in the trash because they didn't get done, and NaNoWriMo is not going on in January. So like the Blog to Biz Hive course that I was taking, maybe I'm not going to have time to finish that up, and I thought I would have time, in Q4. Like, do I really need to work on a promo plan? Just all of these things. It's like, I don't just automatically blindly say, because it didn't get done, it's moving on to the next quarter. I like to use the quarter system or the 90-day system to be able to reevaluate whether or not it's still a necessary task that's moving me forward. So like all of this, finishing the words of the book and then doing all the edits and the publishing stuff, which is all of these stickies, that does automatically move. But all of this other stuff is going to be reevaluated, and we'll see kind of where we are. All right, so now I'm going to try to deal with this issue of the glare, and I'll be back when I've figured something out. Okay, so this might be totally crazy and I might regret it, but what I've done so far is I've taken a couple of just acrylic paints that I had, a pink, kind of pinkish one, and then a green one. These are kind of my colors of the office here, and my Heart Breathing's colors. And I have painted the back of this movie poster like the plastic so that it won't be shiny, I hope. So this is totally an experiment. I have no idea if this is going to look good, but I'm hoping that I can put this color, post it on the pink, and then the pink on the green, and then the yellow on the final pink. And that'll be kind of my main board. I so wish that I could find, instead of yellow, just white Post-its, and I have them in the big size, but I prefer these little, it's like 1.5 by 2 or whatever it is size, and they just don't make enough colors. Like I would love to have a light purple. I would love to have a white. They just don't make enough colors in this size. So it might be the yellow there in the end, or I might choose a different color kind of from my stash, like maybe a lighter green. So we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it'll look good. We can see that it's not quite dry, and because of the acrylic on plastic, it's going to have kind of a like a watercolor painted sort of look to it. Like you'll see the brush strokes and stuff because it's not like a really opaque kind of paint. So I'm hoping that'll kind of turn out cool. We'll see. I don't know what I'll do if I hate it. But. So we've got a little bit of an issue with the type of paint that I was trying to use. So I am now at Lowe's trying to figure out another type of paint to use, but it looks like all of these spray paints are glossy, and glossy is just going to reflect the same way that plastic did anyway. So I really need something that is matte. So I wonder if I could use like the glossy color and then do the matte enamel. Would that work? I have no idea. So I'm kind of just winging it here, but the other colors did not work. So we're gonna see what else we can figure out, because there's a pretty pink blush color, but again, glossy. What do you think, Evie? What do you think? You like this color? This is that pink blush. Do you approve? Do you approve? She is not a me. Hey guys, so after several days of work on my Kanban board, I'm feeling really good about it, but it is taking me the first like truly couple of weeks almost of the year. It is January 10th already when I'm recording this. So, oh my gosh, no, it's January 11th when I'm recording this. So it has taken me almost the first 2 weeks of the quarter to get my plan settled, to work on my office and get it set up the way that I really wanted it to be set up, and, you know, just sort of try to get back into routine after the holidays with a baby and all of that sort of stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to just quickly show you my new desk, and then I will show you my Kanban board. It's a little sneak peek there. It is definitely a change from what I had before, and you guys have seen that I've been through sort of a process to get it fixed up the way that I want it to be. So I'm excited to show you what it looks like now. Okay, so first things first, this is my brand new Uplift desk, and this chair actually came from Uplift Desk as well. I have a Herman Miller chair upstairs that's the Embody chair, and that was much more expensive than this, and if I don't end up loving this one ergonomically, I will switch out those chairs. But this one was affordable, and I'm going to give it a shot. So I have my main Mac desktop down here. This is what I use to format my books, to do all of my video editing, and now I'm going to be doing the majority, hopefully, of my writing on this now that I've got an ergonomic setup. So this is the desk. So I have to kind of loop up those cords to make them better, but it does have like a cord management system attached to it. So I chose the white top. You can get like a wood looking top, a black top, black legs, like it's pretty customizable. But what I loved about this one is that you could also customize it by putting a keyboard tray on it, because what I was hoping I could do is, instead of using the main desktop for my keyboard tray, that I could have my planner, like my plotting planner that you guys have seen, sitting out here on the desk with my keyboard underneath so that I could always be looking at my plots and like keeping track of things while I'm writing without my planner like kind of crowding out my keyboard. I'm kind of testing this keyboard that I had upstairs to see if I like it down here as well. So I'm really hoping that this setup is going to help me out a lot in terms of time management. And look how cool this is. So what I could do is I could set up, and what I will do is set up a automated, like where number 1 would be, well, right now it's going to send it to the lowest point that it'll go. I will set the number 1 to be my like ideal sitting height, and I'll set the number 2 to be my ideal standing height. Right now it doesn't seem to be attached to anything, but watch how it's going up and like nothing is wobbling. If anything's wobbling, it's me holding the camera. But nothing is wobbling, nothing is shaking. It's really, really smooth transition, and it goes up pretty far. So I will easily be able to stand here. I also have a little mat underneath that I can pull out and put here for when I'm standing up. And I'm really, really excited about this desk setup because not only is it pretty, it's also going to be super functional when it comes to my writing space. Okay, so now that you have seen the new desk setup, let me show you the new Kanban board setup. Ta-da! Okay, so don't mind the box there. That's still full of books that I'm sending to Christabel, who is an amazing person who helps run my fan group. This is how I have everything set up, and I'm so excited. I do need to still sweep the floor, but other than that, I think I'm pretty happy with how this is set up. So what I did was I hung some more just floating shelves over here where I could put some of my like Hello Kitty and Tokidoki things on display. And I love the way that looks. It's very inspirational for me just to kind of have those things out that I love. I moved my previous desk that I was using that was not the right height over here and just put a few little things on it that I had before, like some pins and stuff like that. I also took my books out of the box and have now displayed. This is basically my entire Shadow Demon saga, as well as the Sacrifice Me spinoff series. And then I also have Deep Dark Secrets and Triton's Curse here. So this is not all of my books, but it is the majority of my paranormal books. Then I just have a few things here with a couple of books, and I have this little skull here that is actually from Urban Outfitters that is really actually like a piggy bank, but I just loved the color of it. So I also behind there have my diffuser for when I want to diffuse essential oils, but I will do a full like office walkthrough soon, but I mostly wanted to show you guys the Kanban board. So what I did was I originally purchased a movie poster frame from Michaels. I used one of their 60% off coupons at one point in time to buy this, and I don't know the exact dimensions right now, but I'll measure it for you and put it in the description box below. And what I was doing before is this is just still the plastic cover that comes for the frame. This was originally black or white, and I can't remember, and I spray painted it the same color that I have that I spray painted my filing cabinet, which is over here. You guys can see that. I just took I found an old filing cabinet at a thrift store, and I spray painted it to match kind of my office decor. So I used some of that leftover spray paint to spray paint the frame, but I left the plastic cover on like you guys saw, and it was just too shiny, and it would always shine back at me, and I couldn't get good pictures of my Kanban board, and I wasn't happy with it. You guys saw I tried to paint it with a variety of different paints, and what ended up working best was spray painting I marked it off, and then I spray painted the plastic with a pink spray paint and then that same green spray paint. And then I sectioned off the rest of it with washi tape, gold washi tape. So this is the final product, and I think it actually turned out super, super cute. The only problem is that you can kind of see when the light is not on it, this section right here, I didn't get an even spray paint. It's like darker or something right there, and I'm not exactly sure why. It could be because I was painting over paint. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, I think, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So this is how the new Kanban board is set up, and as you can see here, I have spent the last couple of days really going through my plan. I did another video where, sorry, I'm going to try to do this with one hand. I did another video where I went through my 2020 goals planner. I just have it in a Happy Planner hardcover with gold metal rings or discs. And what I've done is just gone through the entire process of goal setting here. And I am very excited. I haven't done the vision board yet. That's still to come. But I have my declutter lists done. And I have my time estimator. And I did kind of a new ideal day schedule for myself now that I have a baby at home. And then I set my goals. So usually I have goal number 1 is to publish and promote both new and backlist titles to increase my income or to make a certain amount of money. That is basically staying the same. But usually my second goal is one that's related to community and social media. And my third goal is related to heart breathings, like all my videos and courses and things like that. I am switching it up this time. And let me tell you why. So just to kind of update you on why I'm making some changes to my goals. So sometimes I feel like it's great to kind of have the same goal and just increase the number. So I want to increase my income. So I'm going to keep publishing and promoting books in new ways to see what works to publish, to increase my publishing income or increase my subscribers or my followers. But sometimes I think that it's good to switch those goals up, which is why I go through this process every single quarter of figuring out what it is that I really want to accomplish this quarter. So instead of just like mindlessly saying, this is still my goal, is to raise my income, like sometimes there's a reason why I need to do something a little bit different. So this upcoming quarter, what I started to realize was as I'm dealing with postpartum anxiety, I have a new baby at home, I have a lot of things that I really want to accomplish. I did not get any books out last year, so I really need to step it up in terms of writing production and habits and routines and things like that while I have a newborn and basically a second business going on with heart breathings. I do still want to keep, be able to continue to, put out content here for free, but I still have to be able to make money too, because I am the sole income in my family. I don't have a husband who brings in all the cash. I don't have some kind of inheritance or something. Like we rely on my income 100%. So I still have to be able to focus on that, even though I want to be able to put out this free content for you guys. So what I started to realize was that I really need a goal that is not only going to increase my productivity, but is also going to decrease my anxiety and the types of things that are keeping me from getting my work done. So this is what I've come up with. So this is my goals page, and I have taken a minute to just cover up the numbers here because I don't want somebody else to compare themselves to my income. Also, I don't want anyone to criticize me for what my income goals are or anything like that. We can talk about my income another time, but in terms of goals, my first goal here is to publish and promote both new and backlist titles in order to make, and then I have a good, better, best scenario. So let's say if I had like $10,000, then I might have $12,000 and then $15,000, so that I know kind of what my low end expectation is and what my like wildest dream expectation is in Q1 from my books. So this has to do with my book income. And if you've purchased the goal planner in the past, guys, I realize that I have a typo here. And even though this went through several proofreaders and an editor, it did not get caught. So if you already have downloaded this particular planner, you bought the 2020 goals planner, it's been fixed now if anyone's buying it in the future. But if you already purchased it, I'll leave a link down below for you to just go in and download this page, because that typo is there for every single quarter of the year. So I apologize for that. You can also just white it out. But I saw it when I was going through and doing it myself. So we all make mistakes. So goal number 2 is to continue to create quality, heartfelt content on heart breathings in order to grow my community. So for example, here's one of those good, better, best. So subscribers, I want to take it to 28K on the low end, 30K on the wow, that would be really great. And then I wrote 40K on the wildest dreams. Now, I don't hardly ever hit this wildest dreams goal, but I think that it's good to reach for the stars. Then I also want to increase my Etsy income and my teachable income from courses to a certain amount. Then my third goal is where I've really switched it up for this quarter: to establish healthy routines and habits in order to decrease my anxiety score to 5, 4, or 3, and my daily productivity score to 6, 7, or 8. So I want to increase my daily productivity score to 6, 7, or 8. to measure this, I'll give myself a daily anxiety and productivity score in my planner. So, of course, when you're reaching for goals that are income-based or number-based, like, oh, I want to increase my following on YouTube to 28,000, it's super easy to see if you did it or not. When you hit March 31st, do you have 28,000 subscribers? Yes, then check the box, you hit your goal. But when it comes to I want to decrease my anxiety or I want to increase my productivity, it's much harder to, say, yes, I did or no, I didn't. And sometimes we can even potentially lie to ourselves and say, well, yeah, I think I increased my productivity, whatever. So my plan for measuring this type of goal is that I'm going to figure out a place in my daily planner where I can give myself a productivity score and an anxiety score. I'm going to give myself like a little guide that says a 1 in anxiety feels like this, which, if I have a 1, it's very low anxiety. A 10 anxiety feels like this, like full on panic attack kind of day. And I'm going to give myself kind of shades and a description of what it is to feel like a 5 or a 4, etc. And my goal is to get my anxiety, which I would say now is about an 8, down to at least a 5 by the end of this quarter. And if I can really get it down, it'll be down to a 3. The projects that I'm doing in order to really decrease my anxiety are things like I am setting up habits and routines that are going to take some of this pressure off my plate. So I'm working through, you guys saw this last quarter, putting together some processes and stuff like that so that I can hire an assistant, because help is going to mean there's less things on my to-do list and I have somebody there that I can trust that can do some of these things for me. So that's one of the things. Another thing to decrease my anxiety is I want to be gaming more, like hanging out with my husband and doing things just for fun. Something that my doctor recommended, which is very difficult for me to do because I'm not a workaholic. I'm just super passionate about my work. And I do try to balance things as much as I can, but it's like hard for me to take a full day off because I want to be helpful. If people are emailing me or people are, making comments and they're asking questions, I always want to be there for them and answer those questions or send out that file or do that thing like as soon as possible because I want to help people as much as I can. And I'm really passionate about that. But what that means is that I'm always accessible 100% of the time. I'm always available to people. I'm always working. So it'll be like Saturday night at 10 p.m. and I'll get an email from someone saying, hey, I tried to download this thing and it isn't working. Or, hey, I've been really trying to like self-publish and things aren't working. Do you have any advice for me? Whatever. And I'll be sitting there at 10 p.m. when we're supposed to be gaming together or watching a movie. And I'll be responding to people because I want to get them that answer as quickly as possible. And I think that has to stop because it's adding to my anxiety to be like always available online. So part of my goal number 3 this quarter is going to be establishing those healthier boundaries of these are my work hours. I have one day that I take off a week where I don't do really any work unless I'm running a course. So of course, when my like Publish and Thrive course is open or my Heart Breathing's HB90 course is open, I want to be available to everyone in case they're having technical difficulties and things like that. But even then, I think it's reasonable to say that by 9 p.m. I'm going to be done working, or by 7 p.m. I'm not going to be answering emails anymore, and that I won't answer them again until 10 a.m. the next morning. It's difficult to set those kind of boundaries when you are passionate about helping people and serving people and you want to make sure that everybody is getting what they need. But I think that for my own mental health, I'm going to have to start establishing those boundaries. Another thing is to establish a writing habit where I've got my time every single day, because part of what's adding to my anxiety right now is the fact that I haven't written as much as I wanted to in the past year, and my income is dropping. My sales numbers are dropping. My, my fan base is going to shrink, or at least I have anxiety that it will. And so I have to establish that daily writing habit so that at the end of every day, I can say, okay, I know I'm doing the very best I can. I did, X amount of work today. I feel good about it, instead of like sitting in my closet and letting that like roll through my head about how I'm not getting enough done and I'm failing. And, that anxiety speak that just lives in your brain and convinces you that you suck. All of those types of projects are going to increase my productivity and decrease my anxiety. So that is my third goal, and that's how I'm mixing it up this quarter. So those are the goals, and what I've done, of course, is broken those goals down into those types of projects, and then every single project that I have broken down into tasks, and every single task has its own sticky note. So what I tend to do, let me show you this. So I've brainstormed every tiny little thing that needs to get done in order for this project to be complete. So updating paperback links on my website, updating my covers on my website, because I've got a couple new cover launches that are happening here. Updating Sacrifice Me files, updating Fairhope files, updating Demons files, and so on. So every tiny little task that needs to get done to complete that project and for it to be a success goes on a green Post-it note, and that will all go underneath goal number 1. Goal number 1 also includes my writing projects. So when it comes to my writing project, like Fate's Surrender is the rough draft that I'm working on right now. I have it broken down into 5,000 words a piece sticky notes. So getting Fate's Surrender to 5,000 words, 10,000 words, and so on. Now this book is actually already at 65,000 words, I believe, but I'm going to start back at the beginning because I've sort of lost some train of thought from not writing over the holidays. So I'm going to start back at the beginning, and it's going to be kind of a second draft rather than a first draft, but it's not going to be completely edited. So we're going to start there, and hopefully I'm going to zip through a lot of these first ones, but that will actually start a positive momentum train here for me, or a positive momentum snowball of like, oh, okay, I'm moving things, I'm getting things done, and I like to add that positivity. Goal number 2 has all of its own projects. Then for goal number 3, which is my more like self-care and habits and routines, I also have sticky notes, every little task. And when it comes to tracking like my morning routine, I just have a sticky note for each week. So week 3's morning routine, week 4's morning routine. And what I'm going to do is keep a habit tracker in my daily planner where I can say whether or not I did my morning routine every day of that week. So that is the culmination of basically about a week's worth of work. And I will go through that entire planning system every single quarter before the new quarter begins. Usually I would have had this done by January 1st, but like I said, for a variety of reasons, it just got moved to the beginning of the year, and that's going to be fine. I'm not going to let being behind be another source of anxiety for me right now. So what I'm going to do now that my plan is finally finished is I'm going to get those sticky notes up here on my Kanban board. This is truly one of the most fun parts because it took me a couple of hours to write all these sticky notes while we were watching TV last night. So I'm excited to get them up on the board. So here is my finished Kanban board. So everything that I'm going to accomplish this quarter, as far as I know, is on this board. So I don't have to worry about anything that isn't on here. No new projects that come up, no emergencies, no nothing. Everything I'm going to accomplish this quarter is up on this board. Now, whether you want to break things down into tiny, tiny, minuscule, baby little tasks, or you want to keep them broader is totally up to you and how you work. For some people, if they were to see these like tiered huge amounts of, hundreds of Post-it notes on the board, it would cause them severe anxiety. Like, no way I can get all of this done. But what I have found for me personally is that I like to have things broken down into tasks that I can complete in a single day or a single hour, or as small of a task as I can. For me, mentally, it works out really well for me to have these broken down into super tiny little tasks, because the more I start to move things down, the more positive momentum builds, and the more I begin to say to myself, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much done. Look at how many things are getting accomplished. And for me, that's how it works for me mentally. But like I said, for you, having this many tasks on your board might really stress you out. If that does stress you out, you could try only putting 1 month at a time instead of all 3 months up at a time. You could try breaking them down into slightly larger chunks instead of such small ones. I personally found that when I left these at high level tasks and they were just like really big chunks, like write Act 1, which is going to take me potentially a month to do, I just wasn't as motivated because I would come in here and nothing was moving, nothing was moving, nothing was moving. But I also don't get super overwhelmed by there being a lot of Post-its up here on the board because I've gone through this system with my time in the HB90 process and I've decided what I have time for. So I know that as a ballpark, I have time to do all of these tasks as long as I continue to get stuff done. So it doesn't overwhelm me personally, but you may find something different. So if you decide to do a Kanban board, I just highly encourage you to try things out. If you have tasks up there that just don't move and you start to feel really discouraged emotionally that things are not moving down the board, try taking that task and breaking it down into something smaller so that you can start moving things and it looks like you can tell that you're making progress. If you find that you like having things broken down into smaller tasks, but you don't like having so many things on the board, try putting in, just a week on here or just a month on here instead of the entire quarter. But hopefully you will begin to find your own groove. But for me, I have every single thing that I'm going to do broken down into about as small of a task as I can possibly get it down to. Some of this stuff is already scheduled out on my plan. So here, for example, from my goals planner is a quick look at how I've sort of planned out all of the tasks that are up there that need to get completed in January. So I have, I'm doing this manifestation challenge so that I've got all 21 days marked on here. I've got my morning routine and when that begins. I've got my office setup project, which I've already completed now. I've got when my videos are coming out and all of that sort of thing. Also my birthday, yay, 23rd. So I've got a lot of that stuff already planned out. So I know like when I come down here on Monday this week that I've got to start doing that morning routine stuff. I've got to start that manifestation challenge. And those are maybe the only two things. But then I also know that I have a story that is due on the 15th. So I've got to finish getting that edited and get it sent out. So I can just look at that master calendar and decide which tasks here correspond with that need to get down. And then other than that, I just know where my time, what time I have to allocate to my goals, and I'll just choose what needs to get done first. Obviously, if you're interested in going deeper on this kind of system, I do have a course where I teach you how to do this. And that's part of my big project. One of my big projects for this quarter is I'm going to be completely re-recording that course because I've learned a lot over the past year where people have been taking that course several quarters now. For over a year, we've been doing it. So I'm going to incorporate all the things that I've learned to make it an even better course. And now, like I said, instead of a 3-day course, it's going to be a week-long course. So that will open up again in the middle of March. But my Publish and Thrive course, if you've been waiting for news of when Publish and Thrive, which is my course for self-publishing, teaching you how to self-publish, it is actually opening in just maybe a week and a half, and it will start on February 3rd. And I will have, just like I did last summer, a bundle package where you can get both courses for a discounted price. So that course bundle will be opening up soon. If you're interested in it, there'll be more information, but make sure you get on my newsletter list, which you can sign up for down below. There's a lot of free resources there for you, even if you're not interested in buying a course or anything like that. But also, if you are interested in my courses or my coaching or anything, make sure you're on that list. All right, guys, so this is my Q1 Kanban board. I'm so excited for it. Thank you so much for hanging out during this video. I hope that you found it useful. I'm going to have a few more sort of beginning of the year type videos still coming up, such as my decade in review and how I turned my life around completely in the last 10 years, how much money I have made self-publishing since I started 10 years ago this year, because I started self-publishing in 2010, as well as a look at what my 2020 overall goals are, which I'm excited to get into because I have some really big and ambitious goals this year that make me kind of have some butterflies in my stomach. So if you're interested in seeing that and more types of content about your writing or how to plan your life better or how to become more productive or efficient, then I hope that you will hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos come up from me. All right, have a great weekend, you guys. I will talk with you soon, and Happy New Year.